going to send you this book out today. And I sent it out to her today. So for me, it's an aid and a support and a help for both women and men. Anyway, because if your woman if you have an unhappy woman and she's got an unhappy vagina because she's bleeding, clotting, she's in pain and suffering, the men are going to be unhappy. So they need the book for the women. And you know what's so interesting? But before the book came out, the brothers would say, what was it? I want 20 copies. I said, wait a minute, what's that supposed to be? And another brother said, I want 10. And they didn't even know each other. I said, well, are you going to solicit? You're going to just walk the streets? He said, because there's a lot of upset women. My mother, my daughter, my aunt, my grandmother, they all need the book. I said, okay. But it's not about being angry. It's about actually self-love, self-transformation, and preserving three womb centers: the mind, the heart, and your sacred seed. Because what you think, you birth. What you feel, you birth, you create. What you think and what you feel is what you birth in your womb. So why not birth wellness? But you have to know what it looks like, what it feels like, what to do, and how to do it. So all these books are formulas that are there to help. So first you receive that compelling thing that would make you write no matter what. Because I don't think you get to the end of the book unless you just have this yearning to get this message, whatever that message is, because you're going to get all kinds of roadblocks and challenges along the journey, and you just might write for years until you finally get it done. And you might write in pieces. I'm working on a book for brothers, and I've been walking around with that book for like 6 or 7 years. I write a page here, a thought comes up, somebody says something to me, and I'll just keep writing. I'll keep notes and keep records, and eventually it will come out. Then once I write, at least I have to channel the title. The title has to say what the book is. And then the title goes into the subtitle. It has to explain what the title does. And then you have to, then you have to write your table of contents. So then I write, what are my points? What am I trying to say with that? And in that I then create a schedule. But I'm a number 4. And number 4s are ones who are very methodical, and are you okay? Are you okay? Be still. And so number 4 will go through A, B, C, D, and they won't let up until it's done. No matter what. If it tells them, they're going to keep going until it's hurricane, storm, they're going to keep writing. And that's how it's been for me. So I had a writing schedule, and it was like every day, and the times I would write were between 4 and 7. Most people don't want to get up at that hour. But that is the hour that I would get a clear channel. Since I didn't consider myself a writer, but I had concepts, and I spoke to you and your mother and your grandmother and your father and your sons, and I would receive a lot of data from you, and your questions over time would actually shape the book. And I would have conversations with you at those hours, and that's the time when your spiritual energy just pours out of you, and you can see things and you can hear things that you would never hear. You can ask any questions during those times about, what is this? How should I say it? What should I say? What should I give? What should I not say? What is appropriate? What will be received? And those are the kind of questions that I had, and I would just channel. Now, some would be on the computer, and I would be pen and pad. I'm on the floor. I write on the floor, and I write with pen and pad. And that's how I wrote all my books. I feel sorry for all the people who have to type for me, but we got through it. And then from there, once everything was written, then you have to match with an editor. And that was a whole new thing, match with an editor. And I learned that in when Sacred Women's book, that there was an editor that, Marie Brown, who was the book agent, she said, this is the perfect person that would be able to convey your vision and who would keep your voice. Because you can have an editor come in and change the whole direction, and they change your voice. People say, that's not how that person communicates and talks, they don't feel the connection. And you might feel the connection because then an editor would have to now dissect how you think, what you feel, what you're looking at, how you're looking. When I sat down with City of Wellness, I looked out of the window for 8 hours, and I looked over a city, and I was on the 11th floor at Shell Woodrow's family's apartment. And she asked me on a tape for 8 hours questions about the City of Wellness. Why? How are we looking at this city? What is this city? I said, the city is the people. And if you change and heal the people, you change the city. The city is a state of poverty, pain, and suffering. It's with the people. So you're talking to the people as a city. And so with the people getting recharged and rejuvenated, then you change the whole climate of the city. So I would look at each one of us as a city, and she would dissect my thinking. She would get all my tapes, and then she began to write, and she'd ask me more questions, and I would write. And I did a lot of the writing. and then I would give it over to her, then she would edit it, and she would rewrite it, she would ask me more questions. She's a conceptual editor then. And then there's the grammatical editor. And St. Goumen, I had 4 editors. And I went through 28 people went through me, from the illustrator to the medical doctors who examined this text to make sure that I wouldn't be sued, saying something that was out of line, because then because you're advising people on wellness. So the lawyers, the photographers, it was a whole stream of activity of people that had to channel through. So for those who are able to seek out or Google a book agent, that may be your way. You may become your own agent. I had one person that walked with me for 23 years. Her name is Jerry Ann Scott. And in each book, she was involved. She was involved in the rough draft. So you may bring a rough draft to a publishing house, whether it be a large house or a smaller house. So that rough draft, they'll take that, and then they hire an editor to come in. So she took it from a time of me writing on paper, like I have right now, and then she typed it up and cleaned it up, and I brought other typers in, and she would edit it, and then it was ready now as a draft. Then that draft is ready to now to submit to a book agent or submit to a publishing house, and if they want to receive it, then you go into contract. So that was my process. In terms of what happened, why do I keep writing? Well, I'm kind of possessed. I have a vision, I have a mission, and I know that if a book is in one's home, it's going to help to heal them, it's going to help to restore them. And I'm writing for not just this generation, I'm writing for the next generation. My granddaughter, I'm going to give you a name?
Antoinette.
And how old are you?
5.
And who are you?
I'm a hero and I can heal myself.
Exactly. She is my protege. And I take her with me so she can be impressed, and she can be inspired to grow and to learn, because this is how I did her father, he's also a writer. He just wrote his first book. His name is Supernova Slum, and he's a hip-hop medicine man. And he wrote the book called The Remedy. It just came out in April. So second generation writer. And I'm trying to work on her little book, about her life of wellness and the things that she goes through. I call them like super children, the children who can see, the seers. And so we talked about it. So we were developing her concepts. And so what do the books do? They have me travel. What happens when you write? You become an authority. Because it's a lot of steps to become a writer. People start to look at you as an authority, so you better know what you're talking about, because they're going to come to you and you need to know. So study as much as you can study about any and everything in that particular field that you're in, that you want to be in. One way for you to get your name out also is to write, or your concepts, to get them out. So in terms of the traveling, you get to travel. I've traveled to maybe 20 different cities. And I've traveled to Atlanta, Chicago, Detroit, Philadelphia, North Carolina, South Carolina, and then I traveled to the UK. The City of Wellness and Sacred Woman, actually the 2 books that brought me to the United Kingdom. And then the book has gone to Ghana, it has gone to South Africa. I've got a few emails from South Africa for the book, Sacred Woman. Heal Thyself, most people feel so connected to, and so I hear about that kind of everywhere. Sacred Woman pulled Heal Thyself into the mainstream bookstores, into the Barnes and Nobles, because it's a mainstream, and they don't let smaller publishing houses come into the mainstream books companies. So your visibility is then limited. But because once Sacred Woman's book came into the mainstream, people started checking out and Googling me, and they would check out, wait, she has another book besides Sacred Woman, Heal Thyself. So many people kept on calling about Heal Thyself till they finally bought the book that is a grassroots book into the mainstream. So it was kind of a forced hand. All right, and so I went from Heal Thyself, 4 figures, City of Wellness, and Overcoming became a 5-figure income. Sacred Woman was a 6-figure income. So from self-publishing is one level. Another level is the smaller publishing houses, and then it gets more financially supported with the larger streams. Okay. Your average book is going to be 150 pages to 200 pages. Whether you're going to self-publish or not, that's pretty much what's going to be the average book that people want to be able to kind of think through. They don't want to spin a novel. They even find a hard time reading a 500-page book, A Sacred Woman. It's like, oh my gosh, it's so much. And they'll tell me, oh, this is so much to read. So when Overcoming came out at 150 pages, I said, oh great. I can do that. I can do that in a week. I go through it and put it down. So in terms of you getting your own book out, you have to pay for the editor, whether it be grammatical, conceptual. You pay for the illustrator. You pay for the book cover, the artwork, and then the designer for the front and back of the jacket. It's like, the jacket costs, okay. Then you pay for the copy. And so these are just some of your investments that you make to get your book out, whether you're going to do it. Then you go to PR and you do marketing. So what I would say to those who are thinking about writing a book is so that you can be more financially supported, think about connecting workshops, classes, seminars, products to the book. If you do that, then the book takes care of you getting out there, because that's really what it is, more of a passport. And what is connected to the back of the book is when people finish reading the book, they'll say, okay, oh, there's a workshop, there's a class, there's a certification, there's a training, they're products. These products have been with me through all 4 books. That is the Rejuvenation Clay for aches and pains, the Breath of Life for ear, eye, nose congestion, the Green Life to rejuvenate, the Master Herbal to detoxify, the Colon Ease and Herbal Acid to flush out the colon. This kit works on rejuvenating and detoxifying the entire anatomy. So that's the connecting point to Heal Thyself book, to the City of Wellness, to Sacred Woman, and to Overcoming. And so I'm going to say that it's been a pleasure to talk about this. I usually talk about this to myself to keep going. Because when someone says, please write another book, I'll be like, are you kidding me? Do you know what it takes to write another book? Please. And then the channel starts coming through. Oh my gosh, it's coming through. The channel's coming through. And I'm starting to hear about the book. So I'm just praying that the book, just wait, can I get these others out? Can I get them stronger? And then I'm ready for another baby. Because it's like a baby. And you're birthing a baby in the form of your vision. So, thank you.
All right.
Soul of Business.